Hey there, psychology lovers. It is Dr. Wright, and today in Random in Psychology, we are talking about pragmatics. This comes from the thinking and language part of general psychology. First, we want to think about what is language. Communication is the main purpose of language. So, using language is really a social behavior or a social process. So, pragmatics is the study of how language is related to the social context in which it occurs. Examples of pragmatics include things like understanding sarcasm or metaphors or cliches. If we don't appreciate the context and the intention of the speaker, then we might think that they're being serious and be very confused. We also Pragmatics also includes the rules of language, such as turn taking, and making language decisions based upon the current social situation. So think about how you have a conversation with your grandmother or with an elder, or versus how you have a conversation with one of your peers. Obviously, we're taking on different roles in those social situations, and so the language that we use is going to be different. There are also cultural differences. And for example, silence, whether or not having silence as a communication or as communication is acceptable in the United States. If we're having a conversation with someone and they just don't respond, then many times we get frustrated or we may get anxious and wonder, did I say something wrong? Whereas in certain native cultures, it is normal and sometimes to be expected to have longer periods of silence during a conversation, because there's thought going on, or because there's the other person is giving you space to think about something that you've said or that they've said. We can also talk about translation and how translation is influenced by pragmatics. So sometimes translations of language can be problematic. So, for example, Pepsi had a slogan where it said, Pepsi brings you back to life. In Chinese, that actually meant Pepsi will bring your ancestors back from the dead. So sometimes direct translation can be problematic due to pragmatics, right? We also know that there's some um, cognitive and um, language challenges that some people have, as I seem like I'm having a language challenge right now. Both of my sons were diagnosed with autism, and while they were being diagnosed with autism, they were also diagnosed with a pragmatic speech delay. And basically, what that meant was that they had challenges understanding the social context of language. So they were having trouble understanding humor, sarcasm, metaphors. um, I don't know how many times my kids would say, like, or just, sayings, they would have problems with that. So, for example, I remember my husband said, "It's raining cats and dogs." And one of my kids looked out the window and was like, "Oh my gosh, we have to go save them." And I was like, "What do you mean we have to go save them? The raindrops?" And he was like, "No, the cats and dogs." And I was just like, it, it's a saying. Yeah. So for people that have a pragmatic delay, um, they don't understand that sort of stuff. And so we might have to, if we know that about a person, we might have to think about our language a little bit differently, because the person that we're talking to is not going to appreciate or understand our use of, maybe slang or of certain things that don't quite make literal sense. So, as I said, today is our topic was pragmatics from the Thinking and Language chapter. I will see you tomorrow.